the other day I had this crazy alien spaceship dream. Story time. So in the dream, I was at the beach vibing. I was facing south. To my left, as I'm vibing, this massive, it looked like a rock, honestly. Like, it just looked like a long cigar-shaped rock. And it was about 4 or 5 house lengths long, but it just silently rose up from the water. So I'm at the beach, and I'm just like, and I see this thing. And a couple seconds after it came out of the water line, another ship just like dropped from the sky, and they were about 10 feet above each other. So it just looked like a long rock, but there was no sound, no wind. The water wasn't, when it broke the water line, the water wasn't disturbed. It just was there. And I'm sitting up looking at this thing, and this other ship looks almost identical, kind of hovers above it like this. As the other ship was on top of it, it was evident that they were communicating to each other. And then from the first ship came these little ball. They also looked like rocks, but they were little and round. So maybe the size of a house, like a small, like 3-1 or 3-2. Like it wasn't as big as the massive one. And what was interesting was I wasn't scared. I would just like to know how brave I am in all of my dreams, because in real life, like, I would be freaking out. I would pass out. Anyway, so I see like the first ship, I'm going to say ship because I think I 100% believe that's what it was. But the first ship has all these little rocks coming out, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave. I didn't freak out. I felt like the instinct of don't run, because when you run, you're prey, right? You're making yourself into prey. So I walked back to my house, and in my house I can see the ocean. And as soon as I got inside my house, my entire torso lit up like my internal alarm system. In real life, I've told my kids, always listen to your tummy radar. Your tummy radar is never wrong. And in real life, it's just right above my belly button where my instinct speaks to me, which is my solar plexus. But so my whole torso lit up, and from within me, I heard, cover all your windows. So basically, like, anything that you can see outside with, cover it up. And I felt like this was going to be a short-term thing. Like, this wasn't like the world is ending, take cover. It wasn't like that. It was hunker down, don't talk to anybody, don't let anybody in, okay? In the dream, my son was with me, and so I'm literally putting everything all over the windows. It was blankets, towels, aluminum foil. And in real life, one of my windows, the salty air has gotten in between the window panes, so it looks frosty. And in the dream, I didn't cover that window because technically you can't see in, but if I'm like really close to it, I can see out. So I cover everything. My son comes home. He didn't troll me. Usually when he comes home in real life and he sees me doing something crazy, he gives me a hard time, like, what is my crazy mother up to this time? But in this, he didn't. He was just looking around like, hey, Ma, what's up? And I told him what happened. And if he's just a kid walking around the street, he's not going to see it because this thing was at the beach over the water. And here in town, I've heard a lot of people say that they've seen crabs come up in the ocean right here. I'm in Jacksonville, so like St. Augustine's right here, and then we have the Navy base. I'm pretty certain that we have a Navy base because of the activity that we have here. Anyway, I told him what's going on. He's like, okay. As a typical teenager, he's more focused on hanging out with his friends. So he wants to hang out with his friends. And I wasn't scared. So I've had apocalyptic dreams for about 20 years now. And in the dream, whenever I hug my loved ones, I always know when I'm never going to see each other again. Like, I always know that either one of us is going to pass away, or whatever is going on, we're going to be separated and we're never going to see each other in this lifetime. So he's trying to go out with his friends, and I'm like, whatever you do, make sure you don't make eye contact with anybody. You don't let anybody touch you. Don't engage with anybody. You only make eye contact and talk to and hang out with your little friends. So it was like 5 or 6 people. I was like, promise me. And he's like, okay. Because that was how I felt. That was like the internal instructions. Hunker down. It's short term. So I felt like 3 days maybe. Cover your windows and doors. Don't talk to anybody. Don't let anybody touch you. Don't make eye contact. What I thought was interesting was in shamanism, when I journey for my clients, if I'm doing a soul retrieval, one of the levels we have to go through is the level of the stone people. In the level of the stone people, we are not to engage. We don't make eye contact. We don't talk. We don't touch. Nothing. I think this is what Catholics call purgatory. Okay? So I thought it was interesting that the instructions were kind of the same as when I journey into the underworld. Anyway, so my son leaves. I, do what I was told. I just hunker down. Morning comes. I check on my son. He came home. He was safe. Again, I didn't get that feeling that we weren't going to see each other. I just gave him his instructions and I knew that he was going to listen. So on First Street here at the beach, it's a bustling street, right? Because First Street is a first street on the ocean. There's always bikers, walkers, dog walkers, runners, joggers. It's active. So since it was the morning and I'm like, a little bit bored, I opened the blind to look out the frosted window. So in that window, I didn't cover it, but I did have like the 1-inch blinds. I look out. As soon as I look out the window, everyone on the street is like this. So whatever those smaller little vessels were, it turns out that they affected somehow everyone that was out. So everyone that they were exposed to. So I don't know if they had like some kind of remote control over them, if something had happened to those people before and made them susceptible to being controlled. But not only were all of them in like this weird hive mind, but they knew that I wasn't like them and that I was looking at them. It wasn't like a zombie movie. They didn't come like chasing after me and clambering at the walls. They just, by all of them looking at me, like just deadpan looking at me. Also, excuse my eye. I think I have like strained eye. But anyway, when they were looking at me, it was just like, we know that you're not affected. We know that you're like this. And so that was the overall thing of the dream, that the smaller crafts that came out. And again, they weren't small. They were like the size of a very small house. But whatever those little ones were, they came out and they somehow affected the people that like didn't take cover. I have also had other dreams where something was going on and the people that didn't listen to their internal voice that says get in and take cover, they were all affected. But that's a whole, I'll have to share that one in a different video because that is another very long story. But yeah, so if we start seeing things soon in the sky, don't stand out there and stare at it. Go inside, and also know that it's short-lived. I think I remember seeing a story about something like that, 3 days of darkness, and it's like 3 nights that you're supposed to hunker down. I'm not trying to fearmonger, but this is just the message that came through in this dream, that if something does happen, don't worry, it's not permanent. This is going to be a short-term effect, and then we'll be fine. So that's it. I had to share. Hope you have a good day, warrior.